Today, we're going to dive a little bit into the future of power sweeping. Some of the consultants we have here on our team, we have Jackson Popek, the internal affairs consultant, Rajay Walden, the competitive analysis consultant, and myself as the budget consultant. So just going into a little bit about the industry, revenue in the waste management accounted for around $331 million in the year 2017, and this number is expected to reach around $530 billion in 2025. The U.S. street sweeping market is estimated to have around annual revenue of $3 billion per year. Going into two of the main industries for street sweeping, we have the municipal sweeping, which focuses a lot on the city streets. California cities Costa Mesa and Palo Alto have been able to acquire some savings in their public works budget by switching this industry. This allows for some less abuse on their trucks, which brings in a lower maintenance cost. With the new California laws that require their equipment to be up to date with the environmental laws, this certain type of industry has become a little bit more strict since 2017. The second industry, which is construction sweeping, is a larger public infrastructure projects which require their sweepers to be on site. These have long-term contracts which require all of their sweepers to be on this taxi hailing type of situation, and the unions have a heavy reliance on this for their work. And then going a little bit more into the fragmented industry, in the 20th century, street sweeping was a fragmented industry with about 75% being sole proprietorships, and the barriers to enter here were pretty low. In the early 2000s, the increasing environmental regulations paired with the higher associated costs raised the barriers for entry, ultimately making it so that it was harder for them to become part of this industry. In the late 2010s, a small private equity fund began to acquire companies on the Eastern Seaboard under the name American Sweeping Company. By 2021, ASC had over 60 different locations and more than 2,000 different employees.
Here I'm going to go in about the internal situation of the company. Power sweeping is the story of the American dream. Your CEO, Manny Saxena, left India to pursue his dream of managing a big-time player in the United States economy. In 2018, Manny had finally gotten his opportunity with Broadtree Partners and looked to find the future company that he was going to manage. He found opportunity in the street sweeping industry, especially in California, and took the ASC strategy right to the West Coast, his home. Here he acquired two companies and eventually became the largest player in the state of California. 3-company portfolio. By October 2021, Power Sweeping had acquired 3 sweeping firms in California. These 3 included Municipal Sweeping Services, or MSS, General Construction Sweeping, or GCS, and Gaines Sweeping Services, GSS. So here I'm going to go into the strengths and weaknesses of each acquired company. First, we got Municipal Sweeping Services. Municipal is California's second largest municipal street sweeper. They have 70 trucks and 75 employees. They have excellent customer service and are very responsive to their clients' demands. They also have an extremely successful training program for onboarding employees, and they operate on a hub and spoke model with drivers working out of 3 offices, San Jose, Stockton, and LA. San Jose and Stockton taking care of the northern operations in LA, which is a newer office in the south of the state. Their contracts with these municipal governments last anywhere between 3 to 10 years, and November through February is the company's busiest time of the year. This time is called the leaf season. Obviously, leaves are falling off all the trees, the streets are getting dirty, and they look like crap. So you need people to sweep the streets. They have an extremely robust front office and a strong new driver training program, like I said before. And then since they have these contracts with the municipal governments, they do not need to be unionized. General Construction Sweeping is Northern California's largest construction sweeper, and they work in the public and private sectors of construction. They have 40 trucks and 52 employees, and they're unionized at a 2-to-1 ratio. And for every 2 workers that belong to the team players union, they have 1 worker on the true workers union. Their strengths include their customer relationships, and they have a reputation for reliability. Lastly, we have Gain Sweeping Services. This company was founded in 2003 in Sacramento. They have 29 trucks and 27 employees, and they are most well known for their state-of-the-art fleet with newer and higher quality trucks. They have one of the best repair and maintenance programs in the entire street sweeping industry, and this is mainly due to their proprietary preventative maintenance program and digital fleet management system that allows the company to find issues with their trucks before they even happen, so they have no downtime and can pick up all the jobs that come their way. And all their drivers are unionized by true workers. So with 3 companies comes with 3 different company cultures and 3 ways of doing things. So we're going to need to find a way to integrate these 3 companies together for one mission. So I've sectioned these off into 4 main categories, first being manpower. So like I said, leaf season is November and February for the municipal street sweepers, and then the construction really picks up in the summer months of June and July. With this training program, we can train every driver in the fleet to do both types of sweepings. This gives us more trucks, more drivers, and we'll have an ability to take on more jobs. Next, we got customer service. MSS has a reputation for exceptional customer service, but they lack the customer relationships that really bring home our business. So mixing these 2 strengths and weaknesses together, we can use GCS and GSS's ability to cultivate these customer relationships, to drive retention, and then use the management that is prevalent in the MSS structure to help each other out. If we market ourselves as California street companies, we sweep the streets as Californians, and we help Californians out together. Next, we want to adopt a unified headquarters strategy. We're going to adopt MSS hub and spoke model throughout the company. We'll have one central HQ with branches that work together spread out across the state. The main decisions will come from the headquarters where the executives will be, and regional managers will control each executive branch. For maintenance, we'd adopt Gain's proprietary preventative maintenance program and digital fleet management system. They're working very well for them, so might as well do it for all of us. The trucks will end up lasting longer and making it a better investment for the company.
Diving a little bit to the numbers on this matter, between the months of June and September, GCS had to turn down around 50 different jobs for construction because that's the busiest month for the summer. Integrating both of these companies can allow for there to be more manpower for the GCS company, which would ultimately allow them to be able to take on some more jobs during these months, which will bring in some more revenue. Although this will require for some more maintenance on these different types of trucks, I feel as the revenue from these jobs will outweigh the different types of maintenance costs.
Another issue we have is the fact that we have many employees that belong to different unions. 50% of Power Sweeping's drivers are non-unionized, which is fine. 20% are union members of the Team Players Union, and 30% are members of the True Workers Union. If we can solidify these unionized workers under the same union, Power Sweeping can be a more integrated and cohesive company. So the solution that seems best for our situation currently is to convert GCS into an all True Workers shop. Currently, they are split between Team Players and True Workers. So bringing them over to an all True Workers shop should be the best option for our company. We will not have to pay a withdrawal fee, which is extremely attractive, because if we were to do this the other way, it would cost the company $4 million. And in turn, we can tell the workers they will be making about $10 more an hour. It will cost the company $10 more to make this switch, but I think that's a worthwhile investment to have all of our employees in the same union.
Alrighty. So next we move forward to talk about Power Sweeping's #1 competitor, which is known as ASC, or better known as American Sweeping Company. And they were the largest sweeping firm in the United States, and they had acquired 4 small sweeping firms in Southern California and was beginning to compete in Northern California. And so moving forward, we can say that they were acquired by a public equity company worth $50 billion in the late 2020, and they were actually a capital focus on expansion into California. So they were really enthusiastic about moving into the state. And they also announced an acquisition of Clean Sweeping in March 2021, which provoked more interest into the West Coast companies. So moving forward, we can get into how we think Mr. Saxena should compete with the ASC. So number one, I think that we should focus on effective planning, especially for our summer months. I feel like our summer months is a great time to increase the revenues of the company with the work for our employees increasing. I think it's a great way to just go ahead and, make a great push as a company to try to get some started as we look to increase our businesses. And then next, I feel like we should focus on flexible planning because once again, in the summer months, it's very complicated or major hassle for the company to get business operations done just because with all of the work that's coming in, it gets to be kind of a struggle on some of our employees. So I think it's best if we focus on a flexible planning schedule, it'll be able to help us keep those revenues up if we have to reschedule appointments with some of our customers. Next, we can focus on cost control. And in cost control, I just feel that Mr. Saxena should be okay with taking investments, mainly because I feel like the investments that are at hand or can be taken advantage of aren't investments that are worrisome. As far as finding new equipment, I feel like the equipment trucks will work well in all acquired companies under Power Sweeping, and I feel like he should just go ahead and invest into it because the trucks are something that's going to increase our revenues and pay off themselves. Next, I'll say we can focus on employee training, just because I think that with employee training, I feel like it'll be a great way to get our customers moving, and just building that strong employee-customer relationship. Therefore, we can keep them satisfied as much as possible. We kind of struggled there a little bit, but I feel like we can also become very, very, very good in this area as far as like increasing our revenues for the company over the years to come. And next, we can focus on diversification. I just say diversification is a big focal point just because as we look to expand into new markets and product lines, we'll be able to diversify our revenue streams and reduce their dependence on any single market or location. And I think that would be good for us as we look to operate in both the north and the south of California.
And taking a look moving forward at some advantages and disadvantages, COVID deemed street sweeping essential, so this only declined their work by 10%, which allowed for them to stay in work throughout most of this time. This did increase the diesel fuel prices, which were raised by about 45% to about $4.80 a gallon. The global supply chain issues created a 30% increase in repair and maintenance. I think one way we can help fix this is by allowing to have a on-site repairman for lower costs, so you don't have to bring the trucks into different shops. Hiring somebody to be able to do this themselves through the company is a great way to be able to cut some costs. And then just looking through their financial statements for Mr. Saxena, one of the things we found that we could be able to cut to make an advantage would be the broom and tire expenses with MSS. Their maintenance with brooms and tires range from around $10,000 to $60,000 a month. Being able to find another company that you can work with and allow to be able to buy in bulk is a great way to be able to help cut down some of these prices. One company that we found that would be great that is locally out of California and Oakland was First Choice Industrial Supply Company. And doing some research on them, they seem to have some great low costs for their different types of brooms and their tires that fit our trucks perfectly. And then going into some vehicle self-care and storage, which we found would be another way we can make some advantages through maintenance. We can incorporate better care for our vehicles and storage. We can cut costs of our maintenance and repairs this way. GCS spent around $80,000 on repair and $400,000 on parts and supplies a month. We also were able to find a company that was in the United States in Johnson Sweeper Parts out of Vermont. They seem to have a lot lower cost on all of their parts and all their repairs compared to all the other companies that we would normally be looking into up in the area of Canada.
Already, and just to look at a few future suggestions, I'll say that we can look at the creation of new job opportunities and careers. And one suggestion for that is I would say seasonal hiring. A lot of companies like to operate with seasonal hiring in some of their busiest times of the year. And I think a great time for that for us would be the summer. And I feel like it'd be a great way to open up new doors and create a lot of prospective employees that could be with this company for a long run. And there's no other way to give them a good opening shot would be through a seasonal hiring. And I feel like it'd be great ends for the employee and the company. And then next we can move forward and look to create a good work culture. I feel that embracing a new embracing new work models and technologies to create a more flexible and dynamic workplace would help foster a culture of innovation and experimentation, which will be better for us as far as creating our advantages throughout the years that are still to come to us. And then last and finally, I will be talking about the increase in customer relationship experience once again. And I would say that that would be a great future suggestion to work on, just because if we increase our customer relationship experience, we'll also probably increase our customer base. And with a greater customer base, we'll once again look to increase our revenue throughout the company.
So appreciate y'all listening to our ideas. Hopefully you take some of them to heart, and we look forward to seeing what Power Sweeping does in its fight against the American Sweeping Company. Thank you very much.